Are you really recording? Okay, we're gonna try this. None of my cameras seem to want to work, and I'm finally podcasting. All right. Oh, my fish is out. I have a beta. His name's Bernard. He's a very friendly fish, but I'm not moving the camera or bringing him to you because I have a total fear that at any minute this is going to stop recording. Welcome to the Knitting Type podcast. My name is Sarah. I am your host. Today is Sunday, August 14th, and I am recording from Colorado. And I don't have show notes, which is not typical for me, so I'm going to be shooting off the cuff a little and trying to be a little bit more Sue and Chelsea from Legacy Knits podcast, casual in my approach to podcasting this episode. This is my second episode of the summer. I have recorded, I recorded about 2 months ago, 6 weeks, 8 weeks. And that's just due to summer mojo. Everybody gets busy during the summer and we don't all take the time to podcast as much as we did in the winter. And I'm kind of the same way. And so apologies if you're used to a more structured flow. I'm just going to kind of be random tangenting in what I talk about. I have one finished object. I have some works in progress. I have some swaps as well as, what do they call it? Like Yarn of the Month Club mail and purchases in general. And I have some things that have been donated to the podcast that will be for giveaways. I haven't totally decided what the giveaways will be yet, but I definitely want to kind of present those and get those out there in case you aren't aware of these people who sent things. So today I'm drinking tea out of this beautiful floral mug, and it is Trader Joe's candy cane tea, which is one of my favorites, and I get it off of Amazon.com because you can't buy it at Trader Joe's stores right now. So the first thing I'll tell you is that I'm wearing this super cool shirt, which you can probably see as I look down in my monitor to make sure the wording is backwards. But basically it's a bear knitting in the woods, and it says, "Does a bear knit in the woods?" And it's hysterical. And it is from Nerd Knitting, and I will put that in my show notes. So I guess I should tell you that I have a Ravelry group called the Knitting Type podcast, and I post all my show notes there. So I believe this is episode 9, and episode 9 show notes will be posted there. And every now and then I'm going to glance down and make sure the camera's still recording. So yes, that's where I'll put Nerd Knitting there. And she's got t-shirts and tote bags and yarn and buttons, and she's very witty and funny and clever and has beautiful yarn. And she's local to Colorado. So I guess one of the first things I'll kind of address and just get out of the way is why I haven't podcasted in a while, other than the summer slow jam. And that is due to something that I kind of addressed in previous podcasts, which have to do with my occupation. And so I was working for a company a while ago where I wasn't sure if I was going to have a job for very long, and that is because my company was being acquired, and I work in an administrative department that would have been duplicated. So I was under the assumption that I wouldn't have a job for very long. And as a result, I started looking for jobs, but at the same time that I was doing that, I signed up for a certification program for my, what do you call that? Like what I do for a living, for my, I don't know, I signed up for a certification program. And so it's a 5-month program in which will result in a 4-hour exam. that I have to sit for that is very scary and intimidating. So I started that program back in May. I've been attending classes and studying in my spare time, and I've been looking for a new job. So the good news is I found a new job. Yay! And uh, so between learning a new job and studying for this very intimidating exam I'm going to take in October, my spare time has been very limited. And so the very little knitting I could get done, which was not much, was barely even recorded to Instagram, much less on a podcast, because that's, more time consuming. So, um, uh, that's why we are where we are today. And I finally found time to podcast, and so that's what I'm doing. And I apologize if you have emailed me or magic linked me in Ravelry and I have not responded or said thank you or had time to watch the podcast in which you mentioned me. But I am very grateful to everyone who has mentioned me in their podcast, and just kind of in the way of shout outs and saying thank yous. Those that did are Sarah Shepherdess, who has a podcast I did not write down, but you can find her on Ravelry as Sarah Shepherdess or The Shepherdess. Shepherdess. I'm awful. Sorry, Sarah. It'll be in my show notes and it will be correct. Jess, from her Ravelry name is Crochet Problems, and her podcast is Knits and Kids Podcast on YouTube. And then Nina, or it's either Nina or Nina, from Finland, and that's Nina spelled Niina, and her podcast is Nina and Knitting Podcast. And then lastly, Two Tangled Skeins. Those lovely ladies have mentioned me a couple times, and I just want to say thank you, because I'm thrilled that you guys are watching. So that kind of gives you an overview of where I've been and what I've been up to and what's going on in my world. So let's get on to the fun knitting. And first, second, third, my tea. Take a breath. Okay. Where should I start? This is the problem without having show notes. I think I'll start with my FO. I have one little FO. Ta-da! I did this morning, just so that I'd have an FO to show on the podcast. How sad. So this is going to be part of a crocheted hexagon blanket, and I started making this because I was collecting minis and I didn't want to make the Cozy Memories blanket that so many people were making, because I'm kind of already making a larger version of that. But I wanted to use my minis, and I wanted to use it in crochet since I do so much knitting with my other yarn. So this is a pattern that can be found on mrsbrownmakes.blogspot.com, and it's just her hexagon crochet granny hexagon, maybe. It's just Google those things, you'll find her. And this is some Andre Sunit's yarn that she sent in. I either bought it or she sent it in a swap that she and I did recently. And then I just outlined it with some Loopy Use Solid Series white. So this is done. Good job, me. Took me about an hour. Let's call it an hour and a half to weave in the ends. I only have 2 of those done. I used a size 3 crochet hook, and I have a bunch of what are they called? My brain is too full from all the studying. Fingering weight sock yarn. So I'm working on that. So that's my only FO. And then in the way of whips, of course I didn't bring one thing. Why would I? But anyway, I finished one of my Monkey A socks, and I have my other sock in progress in this bag that I sewed, and I sewed it and put it in my Etsy shop, and then I had another. So Anyway, this is my second sock of Cookie A Monkey Sock, and it is knit out of the teacup colorway in the Hedgehog Fibers sock weight yarn. I'm not sure which sock weight it is. And then I'm doing heel toe cuff in the Loopy U solid series in this pink colorway. And so I have one sock done. This pink, if anybody cares, is called Perfect Pink. And it's on a sock blocker upstairs, and it's beautiful, and I have yet to photograph it, and I totally forgot to bring it down here. So them's the breaks. What are you gonna do? But I'm just at the heel flap now, so that's pretty exciting, and I'm using ChowGoo size 1 2.25 millimeter circulars. That's my preferred method for knitting socks, and it has taken me 6 weeks to make this much progress because I also had a bout of tendinitis, and every time I say it's finally gone, it rears its ugly head, and then I have to retract that and say I can't do anything but sew because my tendinitis is mad. Thus, if I move this way, the sewing in the background. So I guess these are considered FOs as well, and I'll just kind of talk about them briefly. This blanket right here was part of a kit by Moda, and it came in this cute little tin, Frivels tin, and it's called the Hello Darling. I know that's the name of the fabric line by Bonnie and Camille that this is made out of, and so that is all the tin says, that it's made out of the Hello Darling fabric line. So I don't know exactly what the block design is called, but it's just a little quilt top that I sewed up during my tendinitis flare up in the last 6 to 8 weeks. And then this red, white, and blue one is also by Bonnie and Camille, and the block type is called, or the block design is called Swoon. And so if you Google Swoon by Bonnie and Camille or Camille Rose Kelly, you'll find a pattern design on how to sew that. So I'm hoping to take the one single swoon block and quilt it and then frame it and hang it somewhere on that wall behind me because that wall's kind of blank. So that's the sewing I've been doing, and then getting back to my hose or half-finished objects, I am all over the place. This is why I haven't done this in so long, because my brain is just like and blinking out on things. So this is the other knit that I've been working on, and I've been working on this for the last 6 to 8 weeks, and it is the Hitchhiker. Oh, I have the pattern right here. It's called, Hitchhiker. So that's all it is, and it's going to look like this when it's done, and this is the beautiful Martina Baim who designed it. And so I am knitting mine out of Rehabilitation for, this tag says Yarn Rehab by Meadowcroft Dye Works, Rehabilitation for the Yarn Bereft. And this colorway is this colorway is Lady Slipper in Rock Shelter Sock. So this is their label, and this is my Hitchhiker, which I've seen lots of people working on, and I always thought I'd like to make one of those. And so you can kind of see just how gorgeous this colorway is and how versatile in all the colors they managed to dye in. And so at my last count, I think I had 22 or 23 teeth, these little saw teeth right here, and I believe you're supposed to get 42 teeth. And if you've ever seen the movie Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, you will see why it's supposed to have, or you will know why it's supposed to have 42 teeth. And if you are curious, then I encourage you to go look up this pattern on Ravelry, and Martina explains exactly why you are supposed to have 42 teeth in the Hitchhiker. Now, of course, you can expand that if you want, and I will probably just knit until my yarn runs out, whether that gets me to 42 teeth or not. I should also mention that I'm knitting it on size 3 Chow Goose, again on a size 40 in length circular needle. And this bag that I have my project stored in is from The Fawn and the Fox, Laura. This is one of her bags that she sells in her shop on Etsy. Okay, those are my FOs, and oh, I just realized I forgot to grab the name of somebody, so I'm gonna have to look that up. Those are my FOs and my knitting. Now, what should I talk about? I guess swaps. But in order to talk properly about the swap, I'm going to have to look up somebody's name and information on my cell phone. So please bear with me while I look for the proper pronunciation of this. Oh, Lena. It's Lena. So I hosted with Shannon of Socksetera a project bag swap. And this was hosted months ago, back in May and June. And the idea was for participants to sew a bag and fill that bag with goodies if they so like, and then send it off to their swap partner. And I apologize in advance if anyone had not received their bag in time. I did hear some tricklings that some people that signed up for the swap then opted to just not send a bag, which, can I just do a little PDA and say, please don't do that? That's so disappointing for me as the host to put forth this effort in pairing those participants with somebody, and then it's really disappointing for the participant who gets that person. I had some people who shipped off project bags and then they received nothing, and their swap partner never communicated with them ever again, and that's just really dishonest. So please don't do that. And if that has happened to you, please send me a private message on Ravelry and I will rectify the situation. Now, someone who got signed up with someone who was unresponsive contacted me right away, I think back in May or the beginning of June, and I said that I would swap with her. And so she sent me a package and I sent her a package, and it's been forever and I haven't posted it, and I got it back in like July or June, I don't know. But this was the project bag I got, and it's gorgeous. Look at that big blue flower, and this has like volcanoes. It kind of looks Hawaiian, and it is from Lena of Lena Designs, and I believe she told me that she's going to be starting a Etsy shop and selling her bags. So check her out if her Etsy shop is live, Lena. And so in here she included some tea, and it smells very good. I haven't tried it yet. It says, I'm gonna butcher this, Lena, I apologize, Bioprogram Fantasy World Wizard Tea, which is exciting because, hello, I love Harry Potter. Contains rosehip, hibiscus flower, yarrow herb, linden leaves, apple, raspberry flavoring. So I can even smell it through the bag, and it smells wonderful. She included a lovely little notions pouch to match the bag. And so these are box bags, and it doesn't feel to me like, if there is a lining or like a, oh, what is that called? Interfacing. If there is interfacing, it's very, very light. And so the inside of this bag is purple, and it's adorable. And then she also included, which I've never owned before, one of these little needle holders. So it has little snaps, and it's a ruler, which is cute. Oh, there's her label. Go this way. Nope, it doesn't want to focus. That's kind of better. Okay, so it's Lena, and Lena Designs. And then she included, oh, a bunch of stitch markers. Where did those go? Are they still in here? They are. Okay, so then she sent me 2 of these. I mean, for crying out loud. Look at all these stitch markers. There's like an owl and a plane and a horse and a Vespa and a fish. And I put one on the bag already. That's a dinosaur. And then the second best part, right? Because the bag's kind of the first. But then these are the little mini skeins that she sent, these little balls of yarn. And then the best part, I just said the bag was the best part. I take it back because she didn't tell me that this was going to happen, and I'm very excited. And she sent me my very own zings. These are 4.0 millimeter, which I believe is a US size 6, and I don't know how long they are. I would venture to say 5 inches. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 5. So that was very, very exciting. And Lena, I apologize. I don't remember if you sent candies. I ate them if you did. And like I said, I've had this swap package for so long that if something fell out, was misplaced, I've already used it, you're just not going to get to see it because it's been that long and my brain's been blippy. So this is the project bag I got. Super cute. Thank you, Lena. Okay, and then I got a second project bag swap because Shannon of Socksetra and I actually swapped bags. So she sent me a bunch of stuff. She sent me 3 Canadian chocolate bars, which I told her I was only going to eat half and then take them to my new job and split them with my coworkers, and I didn't. I totally didn't. I ate them all myself. I did share one with my husband because I live with him. He knows how to hunt me down. So this is the project bag I got in my swap. What? Oh, I love it. I love the classic colors. I love her label. I love that this was one of her first zipper bags ever. And I say one of her first because I know she will make more in the future. It has this really great red patterned lining that I just love because the texture complements the outside texture. And it's just a really great size. I know she has some zippered project bags up in her Etsy shop. So, please go to her Etsy shop and check them out, see if she has any left. They're really great quality. And then she also sent me some fun fabric samples. So this is one of those mini charm packs, and I actually had picked up some of this because it pertains to sewing, the fabric design does. So I picked up some fat quarters of that at my local store. She sent me this really cute book called Rules of the Rubber Ball, an adult's version of Dr. Seuss's Oh, the Places You Will Go, a pocket-sized guide for finding your way in life. Perfect. Totally need that right now with the new job and the exam study and the no free time and the universe telling me to slow down by giving me tendonitis. And now there's like cat hair around my nose. Then lastly, she sent me this cute notebook, which is full of like octagons or hexagons. I'm not going to count the sides because I'm just not. But it says, that's a good idea. I'll make a note of it. PieBop, exceptional web content. Some doodle space courtesy of piebop.com. And it's a super cute little journal that I will probably use for knitting. And then lastly, I'm going to just share the front of this card with you because I think Shannon is hysterical and she and her husband are adorable and just look like they have a lot of fun together. So that's the card that she sent me. So thank you, Shannon. I loved everything. I think that was everything. Sorry, guys. Oh, you know when your nose just starts itching and you're like, oh, uncle, I'm not going to win. The nose is going to itch for days. So those were my 2 bag swaps. Very exciting. And then, oh goodness. So I'll go into, you've got mail. I work so much better if I have pre-written show notes because it wouldn't be so jaggy and sloppy. Jaggy? Jagged. Oh, Sarah, get some sleep. Okay, so I got my very last A Homespun House Harry Potter Yarn Club skein of yarn months ago. I'm sure that there are no spoilers here. A Homespun House is a yarn shop as well as a podcast hosted by Molly Klatt, who lives in Berlin, Germany. And as I said, I live in Colorado in the United States. So I want to say this yarn probably got to me about a month ago. So I'm sure that everybody in the world that has this same subscription has already gotten their yarn. So spoiler alert if you haven't, but I'm pretty sure everybody has. So this is the final skein in her second Harry Potter club, and it is called Hogwarts: A History, and it is on her Jennis, Jenness fingering base, which is 100% superwash merino and comes with 405 yards. And it is just full of these, as you can see, really bright pinks, deep purples, and vibrant reds. And then this is perfect. That is the, oh, it doesn't want to autofocus for me. That is the little Hogwarts progress keeper that came with it. So it smells lovely. It feels divine. And I have no idea what I'm going to make with it. At this point, because of my knitting on pause, my tendonitis, I've hardly gotten to knit with any of my yarn. So at this point, I really don't need to buy anymore because I still subscribe to yarn clubs. And so I'm going to be getting more yarn in the mail like any minute. Okay. Olay! The second yarn club I signed up for is the O Loops Sock Club of the Month or Sock Yarn of the Month, where you get 1 skein of yarn for 3 months. And so my first of that came in the mail. I'm going to take it out of the bag, so I apologize for the sound of the bag. I'm trying to hold it far away from the mic down below. There we go. Okay, here it is. Ta-da! O Loops, very first skein of yarn, and this arrived around June 18th, I believe, so I'm pretty sure everybody's gotten theirs. Maybe it was July. This is on their Trinity Knot base, which is fingering 100% superwash merino, 490 yards. The color is Manarola, Cirque Terra, Italy. And I believe I don't have the card with me. And I don't know where the card is, but it's based off of a town in Italy, if memory serves me correctly. And could this not just be more vibrant and beautiful? Ugh. Again, no idea. None. Not a clue. I'll make something though. Lydia and Sarah, I won't let you down. I will make something. So O Loops is a yarn company. It's a yarn company that is owned and operated by Lydia B. and Sarah. Sarah, you know who you are. And they own O Loops. And they dye the yarn and everything is beautiful. And I also joined their mini skein of the month club. And so these are the mini skeins that came in the mail about a month ago. And so let's see, I believe from here and over, these are the colors. This is on the Perfection Knot base. I don't know what that consists of because it's not on the card, but here we have the Wand, Choose the Wizard, Sophisticated Dr. Seuss, Watson, and Fresh. So here they all are. So these will be added to my hexagon mini blanket. And then I had purchases. So we'll move right into purchases. My first ever Yarn Ink yarn. And I ordered 3 of her mini skeins, which are actually larger than like 10-gram skeins. And these are them. So I will tell you about them. I believe Yarn Ink comes out of Canada, and I ordered these at the time of the Canadian postal freeze. So they took a little bit of time getting to me, but totally worth the wait. I can't actually wait to order, to be able to justify ordering the larger version of these skeins because I love the color, which was kind of great about her shop option to buy these 92 yard 20-gram samples, that I can sample the yarn with a big enough swatch to see how I really like it, and then I can purchase the larger skein if I decide I do like it and it's something I want to knit with. So this is her first color. It's called Flamingo, and I think it's coming across a little darker than it actually is. There's just some pinks in here. There, you can kind of, whoop, you can kind of see the pink. There we go. Well, get in there. Hide my head. So there, you could also see the label, but this is her label, Yarn Ink. And this is on her classic mini sock. Well, this is called a mini sock, but I guess sock mini. It's called Classic, and it's 75% superwash, 25% nylon, so super durable. And these are all on the same base. This one is called Jazz. Really nice. Blues and purples. What am I just like, get out of the way, face. So there you can kind of see. It has some like golds and browns too. This was my favorite, and I totally want to buy a bunch of skeins of this and then make a sweater. It's called the Looking Glass, and I just love this pale blue, black, yellow colorway with flecks of green and gold, and I believe she's referring to Alice through the Looking Glass, and I loved the movie. I love this color. You can actually, this is a more realistic version of what that color looks like from over here. So I definitely want to make a garment out of this colorway. And so these are the 3 that I got. They came in the loud plastic, so I did take them all out. But I just think that they're beautiful. So that's from Yarn Ink. And I just have one more yarn purchase, guys. And this kind of feeds into events, I guess. So, oh goodness, I couldn't even tell you when. I think about a month ago, because everything in my life feels like it happened about a month ago. I met up with Becky Kelly of the Knit Actually podcast, and she and I went to a yarn store that I believe is no longer in business in Golden, Colorado. And I think, I'm not even going to say what the yarn store's name was because now I'm not remembering. But it was in Golden, Colorado, and Becky and I went because Stephen B was going to be hosting an event there where he would basically, he was doing a tour around the country at the time and visiting many yarn shops. I believe he's doing this through November. I actually got to meet him, which was incredibly exciting, and I'll insert a photo, I think right here, of that. And he was very nice. We got to talk to him. We got to look, touch, feel, and he even encouraged people to try on, but I didn't. All the garments that he brought that he had knitted. he gave a little presentation, and then it was time to shop. And what I bought was hedgehog fibers, sock yarn in Exploding Peacock, which just so happens, I know because Stephen B told me himself as I was checking out and he was ringing up the order, this is his custom colorway by Hedgehog Fibers. So I didn't know that when I picked it up, but I was even more thrilled when I found that out. And so, again, no idea what I'll make. So excited to have this colorway though. And because I'm a huge fan of teal, like this color teal, I am pretty much intending on getting some sort of main base teal color and combining it with that. So yay. The other thing I purchased was Stephen B's exclusive tea, Pop Your Cherry Blossom. And this tea, let's see if you can actually see it, has glitter in it. What? Are you freaking kidding? There's glitter. There's glitter in this tea and little stardust. I don't know if you're supposed to drink that or not, but if Stephen B says I can, I might as well. Let's see. It doesn't say what's in it. It says, whether sipped under our signature chandelier or at home with your favorite project, this exclusive tea blend from Bingley and Stephen B is sure to please. Inspired by Stephen's favorite things, this tea will invigorate your senses, end your day, relax, create, and enjoy. Stephen B. So now I can drink this because I've been holding on to it for over a month to show it on the podcast. So good job, me, for waiting so long. Okay. Those are all of my purchases, and that I believe is the only knitting event that I have been to in the last month or two. I am planning on attending, well, I'm definitely planning because I bought the tickets, the second, oh my gosh, Knit Nosh event hosted by Becky Kelly, which will be in Arvada, Colorado, and this is a 3-course drink, eat, sample yarn event. And she will have local yarn dyers there. Tickets are extremely affordable. I believe they're $50. So if you're going to be in the Colorado area, it's about, I would say, between Denver and Fort Collins. They're an hour apart. I think that's where it is. It could be just south of Denver. I don't know Colorado geography that well. I've only lived here a couple years. It's a big state. So yes, I'm attending that. That is September 17th, and I will be taking my mother, and I hope to shoot some video and take lots of photos and post them on Instagram for everybody. My mom is not a knitter. She is a writer and a poet, but she agreed to go to this event with me because it's my birthday weekend and it's what I wanted to do. So thanks, Mom. Okay, lastly, I am going to show you the 2 things that were sent to me for giveaways. And I'm going to announce right now that I don't have a giveaway reason yet. I anticipate one is coming up. My next podcast, which will probably be in September, let's be honest, we'll have some announcements then, and there could be giveaway announcements announced then. So the first giveaway thing that I've been gifted that I'm going to hold on to and hoard until I have a valid reason for doing a giveaway is an exclusive Shannon of Socksetra project bag. This has a big chunky zipper, which I'm kind of totally loving, and a very cute brown lining. And it's this beautiful coral and teal floral fabric, and it's from Socksetra. Now, I believe she told me this was her very ever first made zipper bag, and I have to say, as someone who makes zipper bags, it is very well made, and I'm jealous of the person who gets to keep it, because when I first opened it up, I was like, OMG, she sent me 2 bags. How nice. And then I read her card, which said, I gave you a second bag for a giveaway, and I thought, oh, okay, I guess I'll give it to somebody. So this is going to be used in a giveaway coming to you soon. The second giveaway I was sent was by Jennifer I'm going to mess up your last name, Jen. I apologize. Lasonde or Lasonde. Lassonde if you're looking her up on Ravelry. and it is her Riley Rose shawl pattern. Now I will show you the picture here. It has been making the rounds on Ravelry. There you go, you can see it. It has been making the rounds on Ravelry with test knitters, and it's beautiful, and it's such a nice variety of colors and patterns and texture, and she so generously gifted me one and then gifted me a second copy to give away to a viewer in any fashion that I see fit. So like I said, I don't have a giveaway just yet. I am planning one, thinking of one. So as soon as I have formulated exactly how I want to host the giveaway, those are the two items that will be available. So I'm trying to think if I have anything else to share. I have my best friend coming this week. That's pretty exciting. She's flying out from Maryland, and we have a whole host of fun, which is great because I need a break from thinking. And what are best friends for except to stop thinking and just have fun? So I guess the last thing I'll tell you is where you can find me, and that is I am the Knitting Type. I am the Knitting Type almost everywhere you can think to be on social media in the knitting world today. I am the Ravelry Type on, the Knitting Type on Ravelry. I have the Knitting Type podcast, where again I will post all of my show notes. That's a Ravelry group. I am the Knitting Type on Instagram. I have an ancient blog that you can feel free to read called The Knitting Type. I have the Knitting Type on Etsy, where I do have project bags that I have sewn with my own little hands. And I have, what else? The Knitting Type on Elo, but I haven't posted there like since the whole brouhaha about Instagram, because it seems like everything worked out. So I'm also the Knitting Type at gmail.com. So if you want to get in touch with me, send me a message or anything like that, please feel free to reach out. And I want to thank you if you took the time to watch this. I apologize it was such a blathering mess, but sometimes in life that just happens, and you do what you can do and you get what you get. And so that's kind of my theme right now. Thank you so much for watching. I look forward to seeing you all again in this place sometime soon. Bye. So the first one I have to show you. These are my Hermione's Everyday Socks, and I'm super excited. They are knit out of